And just like when you go into a restaurant, for example, that's what you're telling people. I'm trusting you with my time and my money. I'm trusting you, right? Because there's no shortage of restaurants. I can go to a restaurant anywhere. There's a million restaurants. I chose your restaurant. I chose you. I trusted you with my time and my money. And all I want you to do is honor that. Just appreciate it. Because I work hard for my money. Now it's worth 20% less. And I want you to value it. Has anybody heard of Napoleon Hill before? Napoleon Hill, so if you ever talk to like a millionaire or a billionaire, I can guarantee you they've read a Napoleon Hill book. And that's important because most situations, they read that book before they became rich. Because Napoleon Hill talks about mindset a lot. He gets you to focus on mindset. So if you ever read one of his books, just one, read Think and Grow Rich. It's a great book. But when you hear the title, Think and Grow Rich, it sounds like he's saying I'm going to show you how to get rich. But when he says think and grow rich, he really means grow rich in your mindset. And then yes, you can become rich with that. But you have to have the mindset first, getting you out of the paycheck to paycheck mentality, right? Think outside the box, think bigger, and to think smarter. And so this quote is one of my favorite quotes that he has, which is, the man who does more than he is paid for will soon be paid for more than what he does. And that's important. If you do more than what you'll paid for, soon you will be paid for more than what you do, right? That's the way it works. And I'll kind of give you an example of the wrong mindset. So on social media, I posted this post. I said, hospitality is unconditional. It's selfless. True hospitality is truly selfless. But then I said, you just have to go above and beyond for every guest every time. You have to give the best version of yourself. You have to give them everything that you have every time, no matter what. That's hospitality. That's why we're in this business. That's what we do. And someone commented, and they said, if my job wants me to do more, then they need to pay me more. And that is such a detrimental mindset. I just can't stress it enough, because let's just put that into perspective, right? You get paid $20 an hour, and you're saying, I want to get paid $25 an hour. So if they want me to do $25 an hour worth of work, then they need to pay me $25 an hour. But if that's your mentality, if you're saying, I need to get paid before I prove that I can do this work, or prove to them that I'm worth that amount of money, then you're always going to be worth $20 an hour. That's it. That's a mindset, though, the wrong mindset a lot of people have, where they think, I need to get paid and then I'll do the work. Versus, I'm going to do the work and I'll earn that $25 an hour. I'll earn that pay increase, right? And so that's what this quote really encapsulates. And it's much bigger than that, right? Going into entrepreneurship or anything like that. You want to start your own business, or you want to start a new venture. This is the mindset that it takes. And this is what it's all about. So just keep this in mind. The man who does more than what he's paid for will soon be paid for more than what he does. Has anybody ever heard of the lobster effect? All right. So the lobster effect is when a lobster has to grow. A lobster doesn't have a traditional brain like we do. It has a nervous system. That's kind of how it functions and thinks and operates. When a lobster has to grow, it just the shell does not grow with it. It starts growing into its shell, right? Getting really super uncomfortable in its shell, and it starts getting really, really tight. It gets really uncomfortable, and that signals to the lobster's nervous system that it needs to shed its shell and grow a new one. So the lobster goes underneath the water into a dark little cave where it's safe, and it sheds its shell, and it grows a new one, a bigger one, so it can grow. And the point of that story is, in order to grow, we have to get uncomfortable. So is anybody here into personal development or personal growth? In order to grow, you have to get uncomfortable, right? That's it, bottom line. If you haven't gotten uncomfortable in the last month, 6 months, that's a red flag for your personal growth. We have to put ourselves in uncomfortable situations in order to grow. We just have to do it. Getting up here sometimes is very uncomfortable for me, but every time I do it, I get a little bit better at it. And so this is one thing I really want to focus on. This is a big deal, is that we have one mission. This is it. Everybody in this room, we have one mission. The member experience. That's what it's all about. This is why we exist, whether you want to believe it or not. The wrong mindset, right? The wrong mindset is that we're here to provide a golf course, or we're here to provide food, or we're here to provide a private area for people to come and visit. That's not why we're here. We're here to give the member an experience through and through. That's why we exist. That's why we're all here in this room today. We're here to give the member an experience. And it's all with you guys. Everybody in this room contributes to it no matter what. Just like Disneyland, just like the Ritz-Carlton, doesn't matter what position you are. You're a part of the member experience. If you're a chef, you're back at the house, we have chefs in here. You guys are a part of it. You guys are a part of the member experience, no matter what. If you're walking by a guest or a member, talk to them. Say hi to them, right? Just acknowledge them. Instead of like walking by, I'm going to the kitchen and maybe somewhere else in the outlets, I'm walking by members and it's like, oh, I'm just a chef, they're not making eye contact, it's all good. Take the initiative and reach out to them. How's it going? How are you today? What are you up to today, right? Just talk to them. But those little tiny details, those little tiny moments are what makes the difference. It's not always those big moments where just a server is talking to them or the golf instructor is talking to them. It's about those tiny moments where everyone's acknowledging you, making you feel seen and heard, making you feel valued. So member experience everything. That's why we exist. That's why we're all here. And it all starts with a member first mindset, right? So we have to think member first, member first, member first. How are we making the members feel valued? That's our number one focus, our number one goal. How are we making them feel valued? What are we doing to make them feel valued? What energy are we putting it into? What are we doing to go above and beyond for the member in that moment? And going above and beyond isn't some grand gesture. Has anybody read Unreasonable Hospitality? So Unreasonable Hospitality is a great book. It's a good book just for self-development, but it does talk about hospitality. It's about Will Guidara. He started off in this little crappy restaurant he was managing, and then moved up just by doing more than what he was paid for. Kept moving up, always trying to improve the restaurants that he was in, always trying to, and his whole focus was hospitality. How do we give our guests the best experience possible? And he got to a point where he had Danny Meyer, who is like the guru of hospitality. He's a very, very successful restaurateur in New York. Said, can you run 11 Madison? And he said, yes. And he turned 11 Madison into one of the most successful restaurants in the world, both financially and critically. And then he wrote the book Unreasonable Hospitality. In that book, he talks about this moment that he had where he was listening and he overheard a guest sitting at a table, family. And they said they'd never seen snow, right? Wherever they're from, there doesn't snow. They've never seen snow. That night, it starts snowing in New York. And so he has the hostess run down to the toy store, like 3 doors down, grab 2 red sleds. The family's leaving, and he stops them. He goes, wait, we have something for you. We have a black SUV waiting outside for you with some hot chocolate in there. We're just going to drive you down to the park, right down the street, and you can push your kids down little hills with sleds. And it was a magical moment for that family. And so that's hospitality. It's awesome, but that's a very, very extreme, high-level version of hospitality. That's not what hospitality is, right? It doesn't have to be these giant moments, because you can also microdose hospitality. Right? Little tiny ways of injecting hospitality into the experience. And microdosing hospitality can be really tiny. It could be a freaking smile. It could be eye contact. It could be remembering the member's name and then addressing them by their name the next time you see them. If you don't know their name, ask their name. Learn something new about them and then address that thing later on. But little tiny things, that's microdosing hospitality, and we have to inject that in everything that we do. Again, guest first mindset, member first mindset. What are we doing every moment to make sure that we're giving the member the experience no matter what position we're in? Also, remembering the impact that we have is huge, because we have an impact on people's lives that come in here every day. Again, they trust us. A lot of people are here. I mean, what I've learned from private clubs and any restaurants, but private clubs especially, is that these people do want to be interacted with. They want to be connected. They want to feel seen. They want to feel valued. They want to feel special. Right? That's why you're in a private club to begin with. You want to feel special. You want to feel exclusive, right? There's an exclusivity. And that really honestly comes from the people that are within the organization. That comes from you guys, connecting with them, taking the moment to connect with them so they feel like they know people. They feel like they're valued. I'm a VIP, right? That's what's important. I feel like I get treated so well. There's no way they treat everyone like this. It's impossible. And it makes me feel valued. It makes me feel like I'm a part of something. That's how I sign up next year. That's how I stay in this club, is because I feel so freaking valued. If I went anywhere else, there's no way they would treat me like this. But again, it's a conservative effort. It can't just be the front-facing people that are directly interacting with the members. It has to be every single person on the property connecting with them in some way, shape, or form. Right now, the demand is hospitality. That's what people are ultimately seeking. That's what people want. That's what people are craving, because it's dying, because it's so rare. And again, use yourself as case studies. When you go out to eat, when you spend your money, do you feel like you're getting valued a lot, or do you feel like you're just putting up with mediocrity?